Hey guys, welcome to Camping with Steve. Winters came back and I'm set up for another week here in the tent. I know you're probably asking, what's with the dump trailer? Well, interesting story. This tarp here that the campers gave me across the alley when they cleared out that abandoned camper, I couldn't bring home last weekend. And my neighbor says, why would you leave a tarp there? And I said, I couldn't fit it in the truck. It was too much when I get all this packed up in the back. And so he says, just take the dump trailer. So it's not that big of a tarp, and I think bringing this dump trailer's overkill for bringing it back home, but it's what we're doing now. So things have changed a little bit here. It's a bit stormy. It was snowing pretty hard earlier, and that's settling down. So I'll just show you around a few things here that have changed. The igloo has melted. Wouldn't want to be sleeping in there when that happened, but it served its purpose. I had a night in there anyway, so could be worse. But I've got the stovepipe shortened a little bit today because of the wind. It was going pretty hard earlier, and it snowed a bunch, and I used that waterproof coating stuff on here, and it's certainly not perfect. There's some coming through inside a little bit, but that's much better than what I had before. So we got some food to cook and some hunkering down to do. To give you an example of how much overkill this trailer is to bring a tarp back, yeah. It's an actual dump trailer. But have to give a big shout out to my crazy neighbor, both of my crazy neighbors, that have lent me the trailer here. So thanks, guys, and hopefully it's got enough room for that tarp in it. And it's time to get inside, start a fire, cook some food, and hunker down before it gets too cold out here. Due to the great success we've had with the hand sanitizer, today's another hand sanitizer day to start the fire. Still a lot of sawdust in here, but oh boy. Be more careful next time I pick out the bags, because sawdust is a bit of an issue. Anyway, let's see how many squirts we're going to need to get this started. I put in 6. So, if nobody has used one of these stoves before, I know a lot of you have, but just open this guy up here fully to start it, and then once it's running good, you close it off a little bit, and it keeps more heat in the stove here. But before all this gel evaporates, we start her up, and we'll see if that takes. I know it's been iffy with these sawdusty logs, but pellets. Dampers on the bottom fully open. The bottom kind of controls how much of the air goes in, how fast you're gonna go through the wood and the fuel, and this guy just keeps the heat in. But with the both fully open, that gets its fullest, quickest burn. If I'm putting wood in or anything, I have to open that up fully up here, just to make sure it doesn't pour smoke into the tent. But we'll let that go, and then it's food time, and I got to do some studying because I got 2 final exams this week, and that determines if I'm going to get my apprenticeship certificate or if I have to redo school again. So, or challenge the exam. But anyway, we'll get this going. I'll do some studying, and we'll catch up when it's time to throw some food on for dinner, or if anything interesting happens. Oh my. What a crummy batch of wood pellets I got. I actually had to throw in a normal log to get things going a little bit better. It needed more, definitely needed more than 6 squirts or whatever I put in there. So that'll keep going. And it's started to snow a little bit more. I can hear it pitter-pattering on the roof of the tent. But this is what happens on the inside. It's some moisture comes through. It used to be very bad. This has all been treated on the roof, so it's really keeping a lot of it out, but it was more like this on the sides, which I haven't treated. So I'll be picking up another can of that before I do too much more of this winter camping. And the stove jack is still holding up very nicely. It's just siliconed in. Yes, I had to cut this hole in there, but definitely worth it. So hopefully this fire kicks in soon, because yeah, that's starting to look more like what I like to see. Hey everyone, time to get dinner started. Before I do that, I'm gonna give my normal shout out to the guys that have really helped out here, guys and girls and everybody else that have helped out here as far as sponsoring a few beers here and there. So that certainly helps a lot. I do appreciate it. I can't stress how much that means, but I won't dwell on that, and I certainly don't expect it. But big thumbs up to all the subs that have that have funded my creature comforts out here. So anyway, I'm just doing a simple dinner tonight. I picked up some ground beef. One of my standby favorites that I can make in one pot, and I'm getting so sick of dishes. I picked up these dollar store trays, and they come with lids for them, so I can take the leftovers off for lunch tomorrow without too much hassle. But I'm doing some ground beef with scalloped potatoes. These dehydrated scalloped potato mix goes right in there. Make a little concoction casserole thing, and all without having to do any dishes other than this. So should work out really well. Sometimes I get nuts with this and I chop up some onion and mushroom and I throw it all in. It makes a really good casserole. And these are cheap, they're easy to carry, they're light, they're good for camping. For my milk, I only use milk really for cooking, so these little guys do the perfect job, because it normally says 1 cup of milk for these, and well, this is a cup. So this, some water, get that going, and it will be good. So back to studying. I've cracked the books a bit tonight, but I got a fair bit more to do. And then I do my tests Thursday and Friday, so hopefully I'll have good news when I do a next update. I'll do another video this week before the test, but then we'll do an update and I will let you know if I passed, and all should be good, I hope. It is time to have as much of this as I can possibly eat, and then curl up for bed. Mm. This is one of the easiest, most hearty comfort foods I can come up with. Minimal ingredients. And wow, is it good. The scallop potato base just works perfectly. I could eat this every day probably. It's it is fantastic, and I made a big pile of it for very little money. So tomorrow we got complimentary breakfast at school, which is odd because normally they just take the tuition and don't give much in return. So I'm going to take advantage of that. I can have a great lunch tomorrow. And I really appreciate the comments. I have to say, the comments I got on here, on all my videos from this series. My friend called me tonight and he says, "Steve, these comments are pissing me off." You know, they're just so good. He says, "Don't you even have any trolls?" And I said, "No, there's a few here and there, a stoner kid and whoever, but that keeps things lively, so I don't mind." But thanks for tuning in, and we got a few more days here, and then there's a lot more. I'm gonna finish the camper, gonna get all that other good stuff done once I get back to reality and, you know, out of this camp site. But until I see you guys for the next update, I hope to do a couple this week. Stay with me and pray for my test results here on Thursday and Friday when I do the final exams. So thanks again, guys, and now you're camping with Steve. Look at that. I don't know. Probably doesn't look that good on camera, but time to hit the hay.